2025 has just begun, and Simpsons predictions are becoming true. A wildfire broke out in Los Angeles, which spread terror on thousands of acres of land and destroyed homes. Simpsons has already shown a scene of this kind 9 years ago on 25 September 2016 in an American town where a fire broke out due to some reason and the whole city turned into smoke. After the fire was extinguished, the aerial photos of Los Angeles County that are coming are surprisingly similar to the scene in Simpsons. But how much truth is there in it? What is the secret behind Simpsons predicting the future so many years in advance? You must have seen this photo many times before, in which Donald Trump is holding a light globe along with Saudi King Salman and Egyptian president in 2017. Although this photo is a puzzle in itself. But the thing that is not understandable is that how did Simpsons predict the scene in 2002? What is its real truth? Is it really true that powerful people have planned everything in advance, and apart from Los Angeles wildfire for 2025? Which predictions of Simpsons have chances of coming true? The Simpsons is a legendary animated sitcom series whose first episode was broadcast when most of us were not even born on 17th December 1989. Since then, more than 700 episodes have been released, and now it has become the longest-running scripted show in history in both cartoon and drama categories. This cartoon was very popular only among children earlier, but now there is no age limit for its audience, and the biggest reason for that is the events shown in it, which proved to be true in the real world after many years. There is a huge list of Simpsons predictions in the past which have proved to be true. In a 1998 episode, it was shown that Homer Simpson was sitting on a blackboard. Someone standing in front of the TV is trying to invent something new by writing a mathematical equation. At that time, probably no one had seen this clip, but 14 years after the launch of this episode, in 2012, scientists discovered Higgs boson particle, which is also known as God particle. Higgs boson is such a particle in the universe which gives weight to every object. If this particle was not there, then nothing would have weight, and perhaps the shining stars, planets, and even we people would not have existed in this universe. This is the reason why Higgs boson is also known as God particle. The discovery of God particle is quite surprising. But what is even more surprising is that the physicists who discovered God particle in 2012 say that the equation that Simpsons was writing on the blackboard 14 years ago was very close to calculating the mass of God particle. Moving forward, in an episode broadcast in March 1995, Lisa was seen in London. In the scene shown in the movie, London's famous Big Ben Tower was shown, behind which London Bridge can also be seen. But there is one thing in this picture which was not present there at that time: this cone-shaped skyscraper. How did the Simpsons know that exactly 17 years later, a skyscraper of the same shape would be built at the same place, which is today called the Shard? The construction of this building itself began in 2009, 14 years after that episode of The Simpsons. How can such a big coincidence happen? Let's assume that it was just a coincidence. Then, is this also a coincidence? In an episode of 1998, the logo of 20th Century Fox was shown. There is nothing special in this logo, but if you look below it, it is written Division of Walt Disney, whereas at that time 20th Century Fox Studio did not belong to Walt Disney. 21 years after the publication of this episode, Walt Disney actually bought 21st and 20th Century Fox Studios. In the year 2000, in the Simpsons episode Back to the Future, it was shown that Lisa has become the President of the United States and she has got a very low budget. In the meeting, Lisa says that all this is the result of the policies of the previous US president, in which she blamed President Trump by taking his name. The question here is that at the time when this episode was released, Trump was a well-known businessman, but there was no chance of him becoming the president. This clip of the episode went viral when Trump became the President of America for the first time in 2016 after 16 years. In another scene, Simpsons showed Trump coming down the escalator, and the same scene was repeated in 2015 when he was coming down the escalator of Trump Tower and giving the news of his candidature to the media. There was a scene in a Simpsons episode of 1998 in which Lisa shows a list of people about whom she said that they will win the Nobel Prize in the future. If this list is looked at carefully, then one name in it is Bengt R. Holmstrom. Surprisingly, the thing is that this episode was released in 1998. But in 2016, Bengt R. Holmstrom actually got the Nobel Prize. It was the predictions of Simpsons due to which this animated series got a lot of fame. People are surprised to see how Simpsons predicts the future so accurately even many years ago. The questions that are coming to your mind are also in my mind. But before we shed light on their answers, let's see what are the predictions of The Simpsons that are very likely to be fulfilled in 2025. You have already seen the prediction of wildfire in Los Angeles at the beginning of the video. The second prediction of our list is from the episode of Simpsons which was broadcasted on 19th March, 1995. In this episode, Lisa goes to London, and instead of the famous analog Big Ben clock on the tower, a digital clock is seen. If seen, it may not be possible to make the clock of Big Ben digital forever, but it is not impossible either. If ever this is done temporarily, then it will be a very important day in history. Let me tell you that in 2022, renovations were done on the Big Ben Tower. And during this time, it was definitely thought that if the clock of the tower is digitized for a while at the time of a special event in UK, it will be an important milestone in history. Will it be the year 2025 when the digital clock will be installed on this tower? Only time will tell. The next prediction in our list is the female president of the United States. There has never been a female president in the history of America. And regarding this, Simpsons has predicted that a female president will come to America. In 2016, Hillary Clinton took part in the election, but she was not successful, and now in 2024, Kamala Harris also tried her luck, but now Donald Trump has won the election again and will join office on 28 January 2025. Then how can there be a chance of a female president in 2025? This idea was floated in another scene of Simpsons when Ivanka 2028 was written on a small badge. It is possible that in this year, 2025, Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka may announce contesting in the year 2028, but at present, she is not a part of American politics. Moving forward to the next prediction of Simpsons, which may be fulfilled in 2025. In a 2010 episode, The Full Monty, it was shown that Mr. Burns has created a device to control the mind so that people's minds can be run against their will. And now let us tell you that the world's famous billionaire Elon Musk, whom you know only as the owner of companies like Tesla, SpaceX, and Starlink, also has another company by the name of Neuralink, and this company has been working on a device for the last several years which will connect the human brain to the computer. Currently, its work will be to control diseases like paralysis, Alzheimer's, and epilepsy. There is a plan to bring the prototype of this device to the world in 2025. On 23 February 2020, in an episode of Simpsons, Professor Frink created his own crypto coin which was named Frink Coin. After this, Professor Frink becomes the richest person of Springfield, which is an imaginary town in this animated series. In this episode, in a humorous manner, the importance of making wealth from cryptocurrency and digital assets has been shown. In another episode of Simpsons, cryptocurrency has been shown replacing traditional currency. Cryptocurrency experts say that perhaps 2025 will be that year, because Donald Trump had promised before the election that he would make America the crypto capital of the world, and now he's going to join office soon. Let us move towards the next prediction. In an episode of 1996, fusion energy was mentioned. Here, let us tell you that fusion energy is more powerful than today's clean energy because it does not create greenhouse gases, generates more power with less fuel and does not leave long-term radioactive waste as compared to fission, which is still used in energy generation. 2 years ago, a lab in California successfully demonstrated the fusion reaction, which was hinted by Simpsons in 1996, and it is possible that in 2025, a prototype of this will also be brought in front of the world. If this happens, then it will become a major force in generating electricity. Hydropower will be cheaper than wind turbines. It does not harm the environment either. Now, before coming to the secret of Simpsons predictions, let's see one last prediction which may be fulfilled in 2025. In a 1995 episode, Lisa used a holographic phone in which the person on the other side of the phone appeared in front of her in a 3D projection. Meta and Microsoft are already working on this, and it is possible that this thing may be launched in 2025. 30 years ago, Simpsons showed this technology as a joke, but now after augmented reality and holography, it is possible that we may see 3D calls instead of video calls in 2025, while many predictions of Simpsons have actually proved to be true. When this animated series became very famous, people also deliberately copied some of its scenes to get attention. For example, in a 2012 episode, it was shown that Lady Gaga is performing in the air wearing a silver dress in a concert. And then in 2017, Lady Gaga performed the same performance in real life. Similarly, Miley Cyrus copied the wrecking ball scene from Simpsons, which was actually released in 1994. Similarly, a lot has been done deliberately to get media attention, but the other side of the story is yet to be seen. It has happened many times that after real events, Simpsons made a cartoon of it, and then it was shown on social media as if it was an old prediction. The photo of the burning globe that you saw at the beginning of the video was not predicted by Simpsons years ago. This real photo is of 2017, in which Donald Trump, King Salman, and the Egyptian president held the globe while launching a center against extremism. After this photo went viral, Simpsons also made an exact cartoon of this scene and posted it, and then people showed it on social media as if Simpsons had predicted it in 2002. Now, because Simpsons is famous, this is the reason why people believed it. Similarly, the scene of Donald Trump coming down the escalator was made and posted by Simpsons after it happened in reality. The escalator scene is actually from 16 June 2015, and Simpsons posted it on 7th July 2015. But so many predictions have also proved to be true. Then how does this animated series predict the future? Simpsons' future predictions are actually based on their clever observations and, above all, mere coincidences. It is not a concept theory that there are some powerful people behind them. Simpsons writers are also well aware of this thing, and they are a team of very talented people who take stock of the situation and predict what will happen in the future. Like when Simpsons predicted smartwatches and video calls, at that time there were only line phones in the houses. But this idea had already been floated, and with the speed at which technology was growing, it is not difficult to guess that in the future, there will be video calls as well. Like, today we all know that due to global warming, one day all the glaciers will melt. So, if today The Simpsons makes such a prediction and in the coming 10 to 20 years, any big glacier melts, then everyone will say that The Simpsons predicted it. The writers of The Simpsons follow the trends of technology and politics very closely and show these trends in an exaggerated manner in the show. And we should not forget that more than 700 episodes of The Simpsons have been released. There are countless ideas and a huge number of scenes in them. If 10 to 15 scenes out of so many scenes match with any future event, then it is not a big deal. Showing Donald Trump as the president in the year 2000 was also just coincidence. At that time, Donald Trump had just entered politics. So The Simpsons showed him as the president as a joke. Similarly, in the 1995 episode, the scene behind Big Ben Tower, which was shown as a video call, a cone-shaped building was shown, The Simpsons had very clever observations behind this too. At the place where this building, the Shard, stands, there was another tower earlier which was called Southwark Towers. In 1990, this building had become outdated and it was planned to demolish it and build an iconic building here, and this news was also published in newspapers. Now the writers of Simpsons knew that an iconic building will be built at this location in future, and at that time the cone-shaped designs looked very futuristic. So they made a cartoon of it, which later matched with the real building. Actually, this was not a prediction. It was just a coincidence.